kind of smooth, kind of chill. Hey, everybody. Come on in, come on in. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Yes, come on, join us.
Hello.
Come on in, everyone. Woo, come on in. Yes. Hey. Hi, Lorenzo. Hi.
Lorenzo.
Look at me and my sis twinning tonight. Look, black sweaters. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Everybody, excuse my voice. Hey, Jalen.
Hi, baby. When your man supports everything you do, it just feels some type of way.
Show off. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. Let us know who you are. We're just getting on some of these Facebook users. Excuse my voice. I have been sick for the past 3 days. It has not been fun. I didn't have anybody rub my booty to make me feel better.
Aww. I saw
Nobody would come because I'm.
Hey, cat.
Because I got cooties.
You don't have cooties.
Yeah, I did. I'm gonna go with it. I did. Because I caught this shit from passengers that don't know how to cover their fucking mouth in my car.
Hey, Katina. Oh, that cat. Okay, I didn't know which cat. Hey, Katina. Hey, CP.
Oh, it felt like that last week. Oh my God.
Yeah, he was sick last week.
Ooh. I'm still coughing, y'all. So, we got a great guest that will be joining us in about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, we'll say. Y'all want to get your pen and paper ready because she is the bomb.com, and she's gonna end with us
hey,
in 20 and 2023. She's gonna hey Mocha, hey sis. She's gonna end with us next week too, so we got her on for 2 weeks. So this is very exciting to have her join us tonight. So
I need a haircut.
I need to dye mine, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Because right now I can't even look.
I'm trying to keep this purple and this dark for as long as I can because Jalen don't like the blonde, but I'm itching for some bleach.
I like the purple. Good choice, Jalen. Good choice. Well done. Because purple's my favorite.
It's my favorite too, but I don't know if I want my hair to be purple.
I want mine to be purple. But You know, my hair don't know what color it is, so I'm afraid that it'll fall out.
Jalen, quit sucking up, okay? Babe.
Well done, Jalen. Well done. Well done. For those of you that don't know, Simon will not be in the house tonight. She will not be joining us. She is traveling, but she will be back for our final show of the year. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? Almost the end of the year. Wow. So we're gonna have a great show next Monday night. So tell a friend, everybody tune in. I know. I will definitely be Miss JewCee of JewCee Boutique. We're gonna be giving away some stuff next week. Okay, we want to let you win some JewCee Boutique prizes. So tonight we got Yogi Latin in the house. She's gonna be joining us tonight. Can't wait.
We doing JewCee prizes. Can I win? Sister,
she's
can you
always.
hear me?
No, I can't. You were a little delayed though.
Oh, I just said you're giving away JewCee Boutique.
No, you cannot. Oh, now she's gonna cry and pout. Oh my God. That's like asking me, can I win? I feel like I should win some shit.
I can try. It was.
I should be able to win some shit. It ain't gonna matter because I'm paying for it anyway.
Jalen said, can he win? Hey, Rod.
Hey, Rod. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's just start this off with some of these fantastic NFL scores. We want to welcome everyone.
It was not. Quit lying to these people.
Welcome to another marvelous Monday on Juicy Tales Erotic Chat. I am your hostess, Ms. JewCee, and I could not do this show without, especially not tonight, not the way I sound, not the way I feel, but the show must go on. But I could not do this without my sister in crime, Miss Purple Rain, is in the house. Miss Siren is here. Miss Siren is here in spirit as she is traveling across the country. So we are definitely giving her traveler's grace, and she should be joining us next Monday night for our end of year celebration of Erotic Chat. Okay, so make sure you guys tune in next week. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a good time. So Miss Purple Rain, yes. How was your weekend, ma'am?
It was wonderful. So I had the opportunity to travel to Detroit and be a BDSM demo for Kink Euphoria's Christmas party. Shout out to Rod Ave and Sana of Kink Euphoria out of Detroit, Michigan. It was a great weekend. They housed me, they fed me. It was great. Rod even bottomed for me. So it was an amazing time. Everybody loved the demo. People got to learn some things. I got to do my first demonstration as a mistress by myself. So with none of my mentors there to back me up and make me, I had to get the nerves out and be a big girl and put my big girl floggers on. So it was a great weekend. I absolutely loved the Bad Santa event, and I can't wait to do it again.
Well, I apologize to everyone. I was supposed to be there but I wound up getting sick, as you can kind of hear in my voice. I've been in the bed off and on for the past 3 days. So I'm starting to feel a little bit more like myself, but I'm not quite there yet. But like I said, tonight I know the show must go on. We gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta suck it. I gotta suck it up, cupcake. That's how I feel. But I am so proud of my little sis for handling her business. I wanted to be there and support you, but I was there in spirit, mostly passed out in the
I
bed.
know. It's okay.
I was definitely passed out in the bed. Um, and that's probably where I would have been had I have gone. I would have been somewhere in a corner asleep. So with no voice. People that have talked to me in the past couple of days have found out that I can sound like a dude. Okay, I can sound like a guy. I have a deep voice. Um, but I do have to give a
Don't
shout
we
out
all
to
want respect?
my personal friend who has been kind enough to check on me all this weekend and actually bring me cough drops. Bring me cough drops and but he wouldn't come in, so he put them on the door because he felt like
He said you had cooties.
he said I have cooties. and, and honestly, he's not that far off. So yeah, mask is definitely in the car.
They can't be treating my sis like that.
And yeah, this hasn't been a good look. So everybody try to stay healthy, get your vitamin C. Mainly, if you're not feeling good, please put a mask on. If you feel like you might be coming down with something, you got a little cold or something, you got to move. I understand you got to move, but put a mask on. Don't be coughing and sneezing all out. This is how I caught it. I mean, when I drive Uber and I couldn't find my mask, I had somehow rather put it in between my gloves and it was a whole mess. And it took me a few days to find my mask. And then, so I kind of blame a lot of this on myself because I usually wear a mask this time of year now because of everybody got charms and coughing and sneezing and lost their fucking mind. So please put your masks back on because this is cold and flu season and somebody gave me a cold and it's not very good for somebody that's asthmatic. So just trying to get over it. But we go through these scores real quick because you know how we are. We are football girls. Second quarter, but the Packers are beating the Giants 10-7. 10-7 right now. And it's a live game. The other live game that's at halftime has the exact same score with the Titans and the Dolphins, 10-7 Titans. Titans are winning that one right now. And Green Bay is winning the other one right now. But this is got a ways to go. Got a ways to go. For both of them. Next, some of our final scores. It looks like the Patriots, who everybody knows Miss JewCee does not care for, but I'm be happy with it that they did this for us. They beat the Squealers 21-18, which makes the Patriots 3-10, and the Squealers are 7-6. The Buccaneers and the Falcons. Looks like the Buccaneers outlasted the Falcons 29-25. Both teams are 6-7. The Rams and the Ravens. Looks like the Ravens came back to beat the Rams 37-31. The Ravens are 10-3, and the Rams are 6-7. The Lions and the Bears. Looks like the Bears found the win column, and they beat the Lions 28-13. 28-13. The Lions are 9-4, and the Bears are 5-8. The Colts and the Bungles. Well, it looks like the Bungles actually showed up to play a game, and they beat the Colts, unfortunately, 34-14.
Don't want to hear it.
They are both 7-6. Now you know the Colts is my second team, so uh the Jaguars and the Browns. Well, the Browns beat the Jaguars 31-27. We are all both 8-5 Browns, and the Browns are in fifth spot for the wild card. So they in the top of the list for the wild card right now for the playoffs. Panthers and the Saints, and the Saints are well, the Saints beat the Panthers, and I do mean they beat them.
The Saints
20
beat the Panthers.
the Panthers 6, the Saints 28. The Panthers are 1-12, and they are just trying to get that first, that draft choice. And the Saints are 6-7. Next, we have the Texans and the Jets. Want to thank the Jets. They beat the Texans. Yeah. Yep. That's what I said. 1-12. That's where we at. The Texans and the Jets. Next, we have looks like the Jets beat the Texans 30-6. The Texans are 7-6. The Jets are 5-8. Then we have, after that, let's see, let me scooch on down here. Oh, this was a defensive struggle, okay? We had the Vikings and the Raiders. The Vikings pulled it out 3-0 over the Raiders. There was no offense in this game. The Vikings are now 7-6. The Raiders are 5-8. Seahawks and the 49ers. The 49ers beat the Seahawks 28-16. 49ers are now 2-3. Seahawks are 6-7. The Bills and the Chiefs. Looks like the Bills beat the Chiefs. There was a little controversy in there. Looks like Mahomes lost his cool. So we'll see how that turns out. But the Bills won 20-17. The Bills are now 7-6, and the Chiefs are 8-5.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yep. And then we have the Broncos and the Chargers. It looks like the Broncos beat those Chargers 24-7.
Okay.
And the Broncos are 7-6, and your Chargers are 5-8. And the Eagles and the Cowboys. Looks like the Cowboys beat up on them Eagles. 33-13 is the final score. They are both 10-3. The bye week was for the Cardinals and the Commanders. So those are your scores. So give me 1 second here. Our special guest texted me, but while I was talking, and I could not okay, maybe not. Where's she at? Hold on.
I don't know.
Hold on. She messengered me. That was it. Messengered me.
I miss her.
She messengered. Let me email her. Hold on, y'all. She's having problems getting in, so let me just a second. If you would like to just talk about anything while I handle this, Miss Purple Rain, that would be perfect.
Yeah. Are you going away from the screen?
No, I'm just not going to be talking.
I don't know what to talk about. So, okay, viewers, while we're waiting, are there any questions on Yogi Latin to come on today? Give me something to talk about. Hello, are we out there? Lorenzo, I know you got something to talk about. Let's just thought about that. I guess not. Where's everybody at? I know y'all here. Ooh, don't my voice go away. Mm, nope,
It's not a
not
fun
today.
moment.
Not today. Extreme impact play. What about extreme impact play? Extreme impact play can be a lot of different things. Um, Most people, I don't think are can handle extreme because you have to almost be willing to understand that bruising and trophies are going to occur. Um, you have to also be careful implementing extreme impact play. She said send it to her email.
Yes, I just did.
Oh, um, implementing extreme impact play because it's dangerous and you can hurt somebody and possibly kill somebody. So those are things that you got to be careful with. I am not an extreme impact player. I am what they call a sensual sadist. So I will give you the pain that you want, but it's gonna be sexy. It's gonna feel good, you
It
know.
feels good. Yeah. Oh,
One of the girls from the party this weekend wanted to be spanked, and I paddled her, but she was like, it stung, but it felt so good at the same time.
yeah. Extreme impact play is exactly what it means. It's extreme.
Extreme.
Um,
I'm actually
for
one of the
for
few people I
I
know
guess
that can
for
handle it.
yeah, I know someone that can too, and but I do
What are
believe you have to work towards that
Yeah,
work up
I'm about
towards
an
it.
8. I like bruising and trophies, but I'm about an 8. I know some people that are about a 10. Some of the tools I've experienced are the scorpion tail, um, paddles, whips, leather floggers, um, ooh, fire hose and a paddle with eye bar. Okay.
I use a crop.
Um, crop, but a crop can be extreme, but it can also not be extreme. It's based on the user.
Exactly.
But I think he means more of the things like what he said, like a fire hose.
Hi, Terry.
The pressure of the water of a fire hose is so extreme that the water could almost hurt you. Um, Paddle with eye bar. Ooh, that's a tough one. Those are definitely extreme. I do have a paddle that has holes in it, like they used to use, like the nuns used to use.
You mean
Um,
like the fiberglass
I drill.
one that would whistle when you're getting corporal
Uh-huh.
punishment at school and you can hear it coming?
And will leave the little circle bruises on you.
Mhm. No, I didn't get that, but
Definitely have one of those.
I did watch a few of my fellow male classmates get rose up off the floor.
Hmm. I've had a paddle with spikes used on me. Okay. Yeah. I've never done a fire hose, either bottoming or topping. I've not gotten that extreme. So it is, but I've seen some extreme things done. I just kind of sit back and watch, especially the people that I consider my mentors. I watch them because they're way more experienced. And those are the people that I bottom with because I am one of those tops that believes that One, I came from a submissive position. Two, I don't want to do anything to anybody that I've not experienced. Even if I don't like it, I want to know what my bottoms are feeling. If that makes sense. Ooh, paddle line with office chair mats. I do have the chair with I have a vibrating chair that can be extreme, especially if you turn that wand up.
Some people, because a lot of people enter this lifestyle for a lot of different reasons.
Mhm.
What we might feel is extreme, they may not feel as extreme. They may feel that is their normal,
Comfortable.
or they're comfortable, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of people, sometimes when we talk extreme in the BDSM lifestyle,
I've had
sometimes
people that told me that
I think that when we talk extreme, sometimes we just for a lack of a better term, but sometimes I think we scare folks off because a lot of people think that's where everything starts, is on the extreme side,
and it doesn't.
and it doesn't.
Mm. And then mine.
True.
I
True.
just learned how to do interrogation. Mind impact is a motherfucker. I just
Yeah,
learned how to do
extreme is
interrogation and
really
interrogation scenes are
extreme
deep.
is a tough word to use because so many folks really head to that direction because of what they have seen or
Assume
witnessed,
we do.
right? Seen or witnessed via Hollyweird or books or
Mm-hmm.
um,
Hey,
hey
Moses.
Moses. Someone said mind
Mind
impact, do
impact.
tell.
You do, Lorenzo? I'm gonna have to take it because I like bottoming for sensory deprivation, but I would love to learn how to properly do it. So I'm gonna
All
have to
right,
hit you up for that.
we've got her. There she
Hi,
is.
Hi, ladies.
Hey.
Hello.
We're not, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
We can
me?
hear. Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Okay, awesome.
We're not going to let technical difficulties stop us.
Right. It was funny. I was like, normally I through Messenger, the energy trying to make us not go next. I totally get it.
Hey, Cece.
Hi.
Hey, ladies. Hey, Cece. So tonight we have a very special guest with us. It's taken us just a few extra minutes to get her to join us, but she has arrived and she has made it. And what I am going to do is allow her, because she does so much, to what she does. Yes, she does. Yeah, there she goes. I'm going to allow her to give her own introduction tonight, and then we're going to slip right on into this topic. Okay. Okay.
Hey, everyone. I am Yogi Latin,
Uh-oh.
and then something as Latin. You can call me Yogi Latin, and I do a number of things that is a system where some partners and I have gotten together where we interested in people who are non-conventional, totally different from what we were taught when we were younger. And I was and had children and younger life all the way through my life being a yoga teacher, and that's how I know Miss JewCee. And in my list of knowing Miss JewCee, I got information basic points side in relationships, even in personal relationships, that I wanted to experience. I was always called weird and different. To learn type.
Hey, Latin, your signal is real weak. It's getting weak. Yeah, because we're lost her. Okay, hang on. Okay, and then it went strong, and then
There we go.
and it went weak. Mm-mm. Okay, let's try it again.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what I was saying is that I got into a regular marriage and thought that I was supposed to have a white picket fence and raise my children as I did. And I totally raised my children totally different from most parents. I was pretty open. And then I got out of that relationship and then moved into a new relationship where I was with the same woman for 17 years. Well, within that time period, I was puzzled because I was thinking, well, I'm not gay. I still have an attraction for men, but I have attractions for many people. I was just having these many types of thoughts in my brain, and I really couldn't share it with anyone. So I kept it within my personal thoughts, which actually did something to my nervous system, where I was going out with many different types of people. So my relationship, she allowed me to hang out with many people. But over time, as the relationship started to dwindle because we just had different personalities and I was wanting to be more open and more adventurous with life, I started learning new things. And I was getting into the yoga a little bit more harder than most. And not sticking dick long. Not sure what that comment was about.
I'm about to go find out.
So I had noticed that I had still had interest with men and women, and coming out of that relationship is what I really discovered, because within that relationship, I was hindering myself from activities and experiences, and I was going behind my back, going to events, trying to learn about open relationship. Now, we came into our relationship with another partner at the time, but that partner just didn't work out. I had no idea I was going to be in a same-sex relationship for 17 years. And I also did something to my body and my hormones as I stayed in it longer. So, I discussed it with her, and pretty much we came to this agreement. And she was not happy, and she's moved on. I mean, we're still best friends because we communicate. And what's interesting, 5-7 years down the road, she's able to communicate about some things about her own personal self.
There we go. Go ahead.
She's able to have conversations with me today. And so the reason why I'm on today is to talk about how we have dynamics about relating versus not relating. And what that really means is that we can be in a relationship, but we're not relating. And we could be in a relationship where it's survival. And we can be in relationships where we have these personal thoughts, and then we go outside of the relationship to try to experience these things or these desires that we have, and we never tell the partner. Or we are in a relationship where we're sharing with the partner, and the partner is choosing to be open, but yet they're not really sure or comfortable with what you're doing, but they don't want to lose you. So they give in, but yet they're still uncomfortable. And so they're doing something they really don't want to do instead of you bringing someone into the relationship. And so I am a wisdom living soul coach. And what that is that we get with couples, individuals, or groups, and we discuss about our own personal desires, where we're at with our finances, and where you're at with your life. And sometimes we noticed that most people have this idea of what they want it to look like, but they can't get there, or they can't have a conversation with the actual partner or family members because of something from the past or religious reasons. And so they just keep it within themselves. And then people live together forever and they die together and they're miserable, or people are in two opposite ends of the house and they're not intermingling. And then one person's watching porn and another person's going outside sleeping around. And it's just like this old way of relating. And so what we do is we actually coach individuals along with couples with an assessment tool, and it's called To Relate or Not to Relate. And it is partnered up. Some of the outline of it comes from a lady named Kenya, which is she is a poly related lady that has two husbands, and some of you guys have seen her on YouTube. So some of this assessment is derived from her. And so what we do is we have the couple, they take this quiz and they go in and actually click the QRC and start listening to the actual videos, which is Brother Satari Seals, that breaks down what relationships are or what they may be struggling with. And they also get a score. And this is not just a score on, are we relatable? This is a score on how we are financially, how we feel about our sex lives, how we got together and where we are now. And it's really been helping couples to look at 20 years down the road, they may not be the same person or same unity. And so how can we get to this point of getting them to see each other without separation, or what's a healthy way to be? And then the living soul, what that does is it helps them to assess where their energies and how they position themselves in the current state. Some people look at it as life paths. I'm not an astrologer or I'm not a numerologist. This is an actual way to kind of help people, give them a range of how they should walk and how they should live. And if they do it this way, it may align with the partner. It may align with their family members. It may align with their children. So putting those two together helps individuals, couples, and groups, even collectives, learn how to intermingle with each other along with relating. And I tie it all in with a body touch, where I actually take a couple or individuals and I set aside this space where they can go away and reset their nadis and their meridians, which is resetting their body so they can get more clarity. They can not be in a stressful environment. And then what happens is people start talking or people start feeling freer. And what shows up for most people after they get this body treatment is that they want to feel that sensation, openness, and love from their partners. And it puts me in a situation sometimes where you'll find the husband or the wife will come to me separately, and they are interested in how they can get their partners to give that same touch or love or open their relationship. So today I came on because we were going to talk about a couple themed subjects, such as like wives who have found out that their husbands want to open the relationship, or vice versa, or wives who want two men and most men aren't comfortable with that, even though women allow some men to go outside of the marriage. And then we have a couple clips that we're going to just show because we can kind of talk about how do we answer these questions? How do we open up the conversation? And what does the relate to not relate assessment bring? And so I'm just going to read a little bit of it because it breaks down a pentagon and a relationship model. So to relate or not to relate assessment tool is a simple self-guided approach to help you see where you are and your lover. And it's also about relating or not relating based on your relationships, such as key areas, probabilities, or it keeps the relationship operating. Because some people don't want to separate, but they may want to try some things. And are you open to love each other in that space? Because just because someone wants to go on the outside and experience other things, that doesn't mean that they are not interested in you. It actually gives you opportunity to go outside and explore yourself and find your own sexy in a different manner. I know some people are afraid to do that based off religion, feeling like they're doing something totally incorrect and that they may go to hell. And we are all animals, right? In our own way. And at one time, hopefully, all of us like sex. And one of the things that happens as we're getting older is that we start to get far away from touch, even touching our own selves. We categorize it and put it in stages. Oh, when I was younger, I did that. Oh, yeah, we did that back then. But then they just sleep in the bed together or they sleep in separate bedrooms. There's nothing wrong with sleeping in separate bedrooms. I mean, I like to get my own sexy in the other room, and then maybe you come in my room and, and get mesmerized, and maybe I can come in your room. And it gives people time to explore. And so the primary results of the Pentagon, what it shows is it gives reflective questions. It also helps you to understand your score so that way you can see where the concerns are at. It helps with rating yourself where you are a year from now versus 20 years from now versus preventative things that you want to prevent. And so on this show, I always watch you guys' show. Even when I can't watch it, sometimes I pop on real quick because I love that I get to learn about all the different ways that people get to relate. And I'm still learning today and still experiencing. And I was just telling Miss JewCee about how this year I'm just putting on lingerie, and I'm 50, and putting on lingerie like really in front of clients when I'm bringing that VIP, that sensual side of the body work to them, so that way that they can let their hair down, they can feel more relaxed because maybe they're not getting that at home, right? And so they want to be in a central space. And thank you very much. And this doesn't mean, oh, am I taking them to bed? No, I'm not sleeping with them. I'm providing a space for them to be able to vent, to be able to let their hair down. There's also space for cuddling or snuggling. Some people don't rest well in their environments. And this also gives them opportunity to start changing their environments when they go home to seeing something new. Instead of it just being a spontaneous moment and then they're going to fuck someone and then they move on and they come home and then they've got this memory in their thoughts, which is not healthy at all. So how do we get this conversation out? How do we communicate with our stale lovers or the lover that's not even interested in being intimate? I'm not a firm believer that penetration has to always be bad, right? There's so many ways that you can do things, but if you don't communicate and step outside of the relationship to ask a coach or a mentor or talk to these women here, you won't know how to keep the spice up and also keep your hormones rising, because as you get older, your hormones start to deplete. And how can we keep our hormones rising, keeping our libido rising? How can we do all these things? It's about how we're eating. It's about going in different spaces. It's about challenging each other. coming up with things that are fun and innovative. And how do we do that? You won't know these things if you're not asking. And you can't just watch TV, just can't watch YouTube, because everything is not real. So you want to get with someone who can give you facts, who can help you they can be a mediator and a safe space. So I am a safe space. We do train people in this, and it's been working. So I wanted to start with, I'm not sure which video you had up, JewCee. And does anybody have any words after what I'm saying? Thank you for those who said it. Sorry.
I think for me, what's important too is, we talk about it in the book that I just want to make sure. Purple Rain, are you locked or are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I don't know. We're having some restream issues on some of this. So
Okay.
Yeah, no, I just was in tune to what she was saying. I'm sorry.
we got a little bit of some little glitches that are going up tonight, pretty bad. But we're gonna keep it rolling. One of the things that I know that we talk about a lot here on the show, and we'll continue to do that, is the 3 C's: clear, concise communication, being able to talk to your partner, and get across, whether it's talking or whether it's sign language, whether it's body language, whether it's whatever it takes, so that you can feel comfortable in having a safe space to actually talk to your partner about what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to try. I think a lot of us, I know one of the things that you said was really, it made me chuckle a little bit, because I'm 60 and I didn't have a guide. And this is all I can attribute it to. Okay. This is all I can come up with. I lost my mom when she was 49 and I was 17. My grandmother was a hot mess on my mom's side, and that was my only grandparent. Okay. She was a little hot mama. Okay. And I know that she was in her 70s and she was still having sex, and was talking about the person that couldn't keep up with her. Okay.
Right.
Only my grandmother. Only my grandmother.
I want to be her. I want to be your grandmother. Okay.
Well, in the next life, you probably will. She'll be the little short one that's a little hot mama. It'll be her. Because I remember that conversation.
She's still doing it. My mama's 70.
Yeah.
She's still having sex.
I remember the conversation with her, and I wasn't prepared for all of that at the time. But I was, at the same time, I was happy, because that was my only guide, if that makes any sense. Because my mother was gone. We hadn't gotten to that point in my life to talk about older sex. I knew my mother and father didn't sleep in the same bedroom. They had great respect for each other every other way, and there was, but they didn't sleep together. And that's not a place for a child to ask. But I was into health education back then, so I knew something was amiss with him. But it wasn't like, for me, it wasn't something that was glaring. For me, it was normal, because they treated it as normal. There was no big fanfare about it. It was nothing like this. This is how it is in our home. But
you had to leave it to Beaver home.
Right, pretty much, except for my mother went to work every day, and she worked 2 jobs. She had her master's degree. Wow. My mom cooked and I did the cleaning. My dad was the cleaner, honestly, but my father could also cook. And my father was very supportive of my mother getting her master's degree. Matter of fact, he's the one that told her to go. And my mother was like, but I have children. And my father's like, well, they have a father.
I like that man.
That's right.
What am I? Chopped liver, basically, was his response. You know,
Let her out the cage. Let her out the cage.
Right. So I think sometimes you're also a product of your environment, as well as how you're raised and that kind of thing, and a product of your circumstances. Now, some things you can change, some things you cannot. But
definitely product of changing.
I'm a firm believer that because I didn't have that guide, this is all I can attest it to. My libido at 60 years old is the same as it was when I was 20. I will break a dick. Okay. You know, they talk about, well, you're gonna be dry, you're gonna be this. Ain't none of that happened. I done went through the change. I done did all that.
I done turned 40 and I swear it done skyrocketed.
And my libido be like,
I don't know what's happened in the last few months.
I gotta be talked. I gotta go like, hey. Calm your ass down there. You know?
JewCee, I said we need that in a course. How to break a dick.
How to break a dick. Like, I feel like, seriously.
I mean, I'm with her when she's right, but I agree with JewCee. I don't know what happened when I turned 40, but now I'm just like, I just got some. Why am I still horny?
Those multiple
I'm rolling over and going, hey, I know I just put you to sleep, but can we go again? Like, Restream.
I was saying that we have to
Restream is
have you guys go to StreamYard.
You know, I've thought about it.
It's better.
I really feel that the thing of it is that when we do talk about sex, some of the thought processes, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, are antiquated. Okay. We are locked into bullshit. We are just locked into bullshit, especially when it comes to women, because, you know, we got the antiquated thought process. Okay, well, now that I'm over menopause, you know, I ain't good for nothing because I can't have babies anymore. And that's not true, ladies, especially to my women out there. You know, I want you to understand there's more to you than just having children, especially when it comes to your sexual and sensual side. There's more to you than that, but we have been bamboozled to believe that that's it. So when you turn 40, 50, 60, 70, you're not supposed to like sex. You weren't supposed to like sex in your 20s. You was just supposed to lay there and do it. And good girls, you know, you're good girls, and everybody else was a whore and a slut. So it was just absolutely. Let's
talk about that menopause. See, I just went through menopause, and I want to say something about that. In the process of going through it, I had 3 years of no menstrual, so I thought I was done. And then what I found out, and what I'm doing studies on now, is that everything that you went through emotionally from the time you had your menstrual all the way to the time the menstrual is going away, it's in reverse effect. So it's so important for women in their 20s and 30s to really monitor their stress levels, because just think of a movie reversing. Just imagine that. So a lot of women are going through that, and then the weight gain starts to kick in really fast. I was 240 last year, and I was determined to go through the process of getting my memory back, retaining my just my dignity, because because of all of the information, it was saying that when you go through menopause, this is going to happen. When you go through menopause, this is going to happen. And so I started to develop this last year of symptoms, but thank God, I got to say it, these products right here that we have, I started using them. My director was like, you know what? You're going to have to take the lady pause. You're going to I know you've been taking the other herbs, but now you need to put back in your zinc back in your body. Your progesterone levels are being compromised. And this is the way to balance you back out. I didn't want to believe it, but I did it anyway. And within 3 months, I was able to retain, I was able to read better. And then after now I'm on a regimen with it, and it's all natural. I have other women on it too. And what I'm finding is also we have a lady of desires. So you're losing the desires of not wanting to have sex. I didn't want that happening, because in my early 40s is when I just started really learning how to really like ejaculate. And I was like, hold on, I only had 10 years of this. And I was like, no, I need to get that back. So I didn't want to believe in the myths and the stories. And so I had to tell myself, I'm going to retrain my thinking, and I'm going to take those myths out of what they're saying and reprogram my body and my brain.
And I think a lot of women, we have to do, I agree with you 110%, because we have to do that. My mindset has never been, and I think that's the difference between me and I look at some of my friends, I look at so many of my friends, and I'm like, y'all act like you got one foot on the banana peel and one foot in the grave. And you don't need to, you don't need to do that. You are viable.
Yes.
You are viable.
Yes.
And I have never, so two things that I can think of when I was in the last, I've died a couple of times. So when I was in the last one, and I had to live in my living room for months while I recovered, my libido went sky high. I mean, like I was calling friends, somebody bring me porn, bring me. I think my coach thought we were never getting it, never again in life. And it's like,
ready to die.
But I lived. I'm like, I'm alive.
Your coach was ready to pass out. She wanted some nook.
But and I have pretty much been on a libido. I can wheel her in, but horny is always. But it's not for just anyone. So I don't want everybody to think, oh, I'm going out here. No. For me, it is definitely, it has to be worth my while. We don't pull panties to the side. We don't do all that. But we have to. I don't. If I ain't taking them off, you ain't getting none. Okay, I can put it down. You have not enticed me at all. But I think it's very important that as women, that if we can, and on all of our platforms, if we can find a way to alleviate, because when I go and do shows, when I go and sell toys, and I go into these homes, and I just did one a couple of weeks ago, I still have these women, well, I'm 40. Well, I'm okay. I mean, you're wearing it like a badge of horror instead of a badge of honor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just said a word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's freezing.
I see.
And that's the problem. That's the part that fit you tremendously in so many different ways. I mean, mentally, spiritually, physically, being able to have an orgasm, being able to just relax and release, just being able to be touched and to enjoy. And you want to limit that? Are you kidding me? Hell no.
Hell no.
Lost your damn mind. And
Uh-oh.
we go show first because it's the first one I got up. It's my done. So I can honestly say that. Whereas some other folks might not be able to. So let me see. How do I go? Oh, I hope I didn't close it. No, I did not. It's sitting right here.
No, you didn't.
And I just hit play. Here we go.
Hi guys, so today we're out looking for people that want a threesome. Would you like to have a threesome?
Oh, yeah, I would. Yeah.
Would you like to have a threesome?
Yeah.
Have I?
Would you like to have one?
Depends.
Ooh, if you're offering.
Would you like to have a threesome?
With who?
Well, we weren't asking for us, we're just asking in general if you were up for it.
Maybe. Yeah.
So, if you were to go about arranging a threesome, how do you think you would do it?
I would probably wait until someone asked me. Yeah, I don't think I'd be confident enough to ask someone until I've done one before.
Body language, you go with the flow, you see what the people are like. If it's something, you can tell by the eyes, you can tell by their behavior and your behavior whether it's a go or it's a not.
Oh my god, I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. Haven't thought about it.
I don't really know.
Have you ever done it before?
That's a lie. You did nearly have one.
Bit weird.
Well, if they were doing the legwork, maybe they could produce a lineup for you.
You gonna set me up?
Would you like to have a threesome?
I'm alright, mate.
A threesome? 3 people? So would you like to have sex with 3 people?
Sex?
Would you like to have a threesome?
Have a good day.
I just kind of fell into the situation. So, yeah, just kind of fell into it. I don't know. Maybe if I had a boyfriend and, yeah, got some other girl involved, I might do. I don't know. I kind of just go with the flow.
So if the situation presented itself to you, you'd be gay?
Yeah.
And what about you?
Yeah. I don't think it's one of those things that you can really organise very well. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable like sort of going out to like plan it and things like that. It would have to be one of those like in the moment things. I think.
When? Probably too old now. with 2 girls or with a guy?
I don't know. Your choice.
I don't know. It depends where this is going.
Well, it's not with me. I'm just asking out of general research.
Yeah, I guess why not? I'm open to it.
Have you done it before?
I didn't orchestrate it.
How did it happen?
God. How did it happen? On a night out?
I guess it depends who the person is, really.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be a bit weird, but
I think it's just sort of one of those things where if you meet people who are up for that kind of thing, then if people are up for it, then often that conversation can kind of develop.
That was awkward. They were weird for no reason.
Yeah. So that's like the UK. So just imagine if that was African Americans, what that would look like. In our city, we asked those questions and some people just ignored it. Some people just got stunned. Like, oh my God, why are they asking this question? Or I don't want to be seen because I don't know if this one's going to record that. And so it's really,
Right.
It's a good question. It's like, would you have a threesome if no one knew about it? Because most people will sneak into it. Some people think about it. Some people don't think about it at all. And they're just cool with just that one person. So it makes you, I'm always curious about thousands of people. Like, what are they thinking sexually? Like, what are people thinking when they're having sex? Do they have that conversation with their mate? Because with my mate, I always would ask all these, but what are you thinking? Because I'm thinking this. Do you ever think about other people? You know, and my partners used to thought I was just the weirdest person ever. Even though I know people talk like that now today. You know, like, why are you asking that question? I'm like, because sometimes there's other stimulants besides just me thinking about you and me telling you I'm thinking about you. I'm actually thinking about how I can fuck the nurse inside the hospital. At the same, wild things like that, And most partners are like, no, that's not, I'm thinking about you. And I'm like, I just don't believe that.
I think so I can my first threesome was after I had gotten out of my abusive marriage and to my second husband. And this was my first dom. And he had come to Indy. We had went to okay, the swingers club there. Hold on. You know which one I'm talking about too, Purple Rain.
In Indy? I couldn't hear you. Where in Indy?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been there forever.
Real?
Can you hear me? Yes, thank you. Thank you. We went to the Real, and there was a gentleman there, and there weren't. It was like we were like fresh meat because he was at the time he was from Texas. That was my first time there. So, but this gentleman he wanted to be with me, and of course, I was with my dom, so it was up to him. So the thing that made me most nervous is because I had come out of an abusive relationship, where I got beat one night. When a gentleman saw me licking my fingers, we were out at a club. My former husband had forgot to bring me napkins, had got me cheese fries, and I was just getting the cheese off my fingers. That wound up getting me rushed out of the club, yelled at, berated all the way home. And this was our anniversary or whatever, if I remember correctly. But so anyway, so even having a man look at me made me very nervous because I thought I was going to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But to, find out contrary to that this really turned my dom on. It really turned him on. I mean, it was something that he would go back and grab and talk about, later on all the time. That was one of his favorite times that we had together when there was, another guy. And I have to tell you, ladies, look, having two men please you at one time, go for it.
I've not had that yet.
It's the best thing ever.
Huh? What'd you say?
It's the best thing ever.
Yeah. This was because these two men were into my pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. They weren't, neither one was bisexual or gay. So they were into pleasing me. I had never had, and I've never forgotten it. I had never had that done to really have let two men, let alone one man, totally into pleasing me, having two men into that. Yeah, I was a happy camper.
Hey, Rob.
Happy.
I would have been too.
Happy.
Haven't had that yet.
You must. You must. I'm just saying. But once again, it takes conversation. It takes communication. We all had to be on the same page of the playbook. And pretty much once things were known, my dom kind of handled a lot of it. But everything was consensual. Everything was consensual.
Nice.
And it was, everything, we were checked, made sure everybody was comfortable, everything went really, really well. So the two times that I've had that type of experience is both times was absolutely wonderful, and I would recommend it to any woman out there. Go ahead and do it, girl.
I feel like I have to go overseas or something and do something like that.
No, you can do it here.
Yeah,
you can do it here in the States.
Okay.
Now she gonna be thinking about it. She's gonna be thinking about it.
I'm thinking I always would want a female around also if I had two males too. I don't know why. Because I don't know. It's nothing. I've never.
I mean, I'm with you because I'm the lover of. I love a good quad. I love a good quad.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Okay, eventually, you go over there and I'm over here.
And now, maybe some of our people listening tonight, and you guys are fellas. How many of you fellas would let and and allow this to happen for your woman? Where and it's no, if you're totally heterosexual, it's a heterosexual experience. How many of you would allow your lady to have you and another gentleman? I'm really curious to see what the responses are. At the same time. Yeah. So feel free.
I know there's at least one person on here that would.
Yep. He
Jalen
said have no
says
issue.
no issues with it.
No issues with it.
Good night, Ralph. All good topics. Taking notes. The deep breaking workshop. But I'm curious.
We need it.
A lot of fellas are very territorial, for lack of a better term. Do you think?
Yeah. And they won't say anything. Because I would think once that happened, and then they would go back and start replaying that in their head. If you seem like you were more excited with that other male partner, but see, I'm not in a relationship, so I don't think like that now. But I was thinking in a relationship, I would think that my partner would keep rewinding that back if I got off on something that they don't do.
But if they're there doing something to you at the same time, when you're talking about erogenous zones and they're touching you, or they're like, I know he was in my ear the whole time, and it was just
nice,
maddening, because the more he was talking, the more aroused I was getting. So, and the more he was touching, and the more the other guy was touching, I mean, it just kept getting better and better and better and better. So I think if everybody is in, for lack of a better term, but harmony with each other, I think it can be, a great experience. And I know that even if it's two women and a guy, I think you still have to have that harmony.
I guess I would have to step out of my own masculine thoughts, because I've done that with a couple where we set certain boundaries, but they needed to experience another person observing and also recording. But I never pictured myself in that situation, imagining someone talking to me and I'm also being served. I probably would. That's an extreme turn on. I'm like thinking about,
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if it's someone that the two of you, he's my main, okay? He's my person. And he's getting turned on by watching me getting turned on.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, and then this guy is getting turned on because I'm getting turned on. So everything kind of, I guess, like when you guys are always talking about energy work, all that energy going.
Woo. Yes,
You
honey.
can't. I was
Now
definitely.
you got my brain thinking like, okay.
But I think it definitely has to be with people. Once again, we talk about it all the time on this show. Clear, concise communication. You got to have it.
I love that.
And you have to make sure that everything is consensual.
Is that in
And
your
it
book?
doesn't. It will be. Yeah.
Okay. I love that.
It will be. That consent is. We talk about consent. Mistress Crush was on with us at one point and talked about consent. Mistress Urban was on talking about consent, even though we're talking about it in the BDSM lifestyle, it also goes into the vanilla lifestyle. Consent is so important. We that you have to have it. You have to talk about consent, and it's not it's not giving permission to cheat. That's not what consent is. But consent
Correct.
is more along the lines of you and I are able to please each other, maybe in ways that we haven't pleased each other before. If that makes sense.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can.
I agree.
Miss Purple Rain, do you have anything to add to that?
No, you definitely hit the nail on the head.
So I'm gonna raise my hand when you get to the second video, and that means just cut it off because it's kind of lengthy, but it's making a point.
The unlearn relating, is that the one?
Yeah, so that is Brother Satari. That is the one who created the relate to not relate. And when you see people flipping bodies all around and on the social media, he was the one that started that, but he did it from a space of educating women on loving themselves and feeling beautiful in a safe space. And so again, the media has taken it overboard where, now you're seeing women being used as a product in order to be able to get clients. But I wanted to say that this person, Wisdom Therapeutics, is the brand where we bring women and men in so they can get on holistic herbs. So as they get older, they can still stay yummy and high libido and feel beautiful. And also a lot of women aren't in safe spaces or they're not being touched. And so this type of body work, the Wisdom Zen and the Thai fascia, it opens these energies up. So therefore a person can rise higher in clarity, along with being sensually touched without feeling, without penetration. But it's a whole different type of vibe. It's totally different. It's nothing like a massage. It's totally different. So this is the brother that's talking about this. So these are one of the video clips that go with the relate to not relate. And so he's just going to talk about, just briefly for probably about 2 minutes, it's good to hear about the two different types of non-relating versus why people relate.
Okay, here we go.
Versus relating based relationships.
Let me say that. When you get to a space of adult maturity, you observe a lot of things, you heard a lot of things, you've seen a lot of things, you unlearn of a lot of things. And once you unlearn of a lot of things, it helps how you see things. And that's one way you've got into the adult maturity in life. Those that have not hit the adult maturity in life, a lot of times are still caught up in the opinion, in the fantasies, or the presented to you how people need to relate. So big difference in terms of our attitude, relationships, and our approach and our practices in relationships. One reason why the narrative of the relationships they seem like it never changes, they never graduates to a higher level of understanding of relating, is because people are stuck inside a certain mode of thinking about relationships. And to make it real simple, because some of y'all probably heard, I talk about, I distinguish the difference between survival-based relationships versus relating-based relationships. And those that hit adult maturity begin to transition more into the relating-based relationship. Okay? So it's a different orientation. When you are in survival-based relationships, which most relationships are, let's just be honest. Most of us are in relationships, we're not might not say it, but it's all about incentives, what I'm getting, performance, and why. And you see it. You see it on social media, you see it on TV. And most people are showing their dissatisfaction with the relationship or the relationship choices or their experiences because it came from the space of survival. What can I get from this person? And if I get this, I'll be able to give that. And so what begins to happen is that it puts you in a space of instinct. It puts you in a space of you're always trying to negotiate your position or trying to leverage. And it's a whole bunch of different things that begins to go on that's unseen.
So those video snippets are in that. So when the couple does the relate to not relate, they'll go through these videos so they can really look at themselves and evaluate, am I in a survival relationship? Am I just with this person because I can get something out of it? Is it really genuine? Or am I being really true that I actually want to go sleep around with 2 or 3 women and I'm just holding it in, versus can I relate? Can we relate together? Can I be open and trust that this person loves me and that I can be truly open about my thoughts? Sorry, you guys. Downtown.
Usually that's Cleveland, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, Indy on one because they keep going off by my house too, and I'm in Butler, so I understand.
Okay. Yeah. So it helps people to understand, to look at their relationship. It's like, can I be true? By the time you get a certain age, you should be in a relationship where you're open and that person understands who you are and they allow you to be maybe this recreation of yourself. Because sometimes as we get older in a relationship, we have to recreate who we are in order to get the spunk back to, try new things, instead of just it being that traditional, okay, we get old together and then that's it. That's not the new way of relating, as we can see. That's why it's so many different ways of relating now. And people are trying things and there's more conversation. That's why this show is on. If we didn't have these different types of way to relate, we wouldn't be here. We'll probably be with our husband right now, call each other, girl, you want to have a girls' night out? And then when the women get together, they have these girls' night out, and then they go do these wild things that they keep secrets amongst the women. And there's really no need for that, because they're making as if that's what's normal. And that's not really normal. That's not even being real. It's not being authentic. It's not healthy to your body. And so I like to relate to not relate, because it helps couples to make a decision on, should we relate differently, or maybe I need to step out of the relationship. Because we like people to stay together, but sometimes people are finding out that they're with the wrong person. And it's okay to take a break. Some people are afraid to take breaks from each other. And sometimes people find out that they loved being with each other. They just needed to go splurge a little bit. Maybe they do it once or twice out the year and it's an agreement. So, so yeah, that's kind of what that is. And so that's why I wanted you to see that there's 2 ways of relating. We're relating because we're in survival mode and we can't pay half of our bills, and I got to stick with this person. And even though this person can't get it up anymore, I'm dealing with it, but I'll just have my man on the side. And, instead of just saying, well, I'm going to let them know that I have to step outside. It's not fair for you to suffer when that person is possibly not intaking certain types of food, or even making an effort to try to find the spice. So if there's an agreement, then the other person should be able to be okay with it's not fair for her to suffer. But you have those relationships where some women, especially a lot of women, they are in situations where they're suffering.
Mhm.
And it's sad because they're like, I don't, and they're aging. And so then again, like we talk about, when the menopause hits, it's terrible. They're miserable, or they're just miserable, period.
Right. And piggybacking off of that, when we do talk about relationships, and we are in still a space of antiquated thought processes that have been handed down generation after generation after generation. And some of these things just really,
Absolutely.
monogamy is man-made, whether people want to admit it or not. It's human nature to be fruitful and multiply.
Say it again. Say it
And it's human nature to be fruitful and multiply. It's man-made to be monogamous, because in a lot of things, if you look at things, if you go back and you look at religion and you look at who is saying that you're supposed to do X, Y, and Z, if you're going to be in religion and you're going to talk about religion, talk about the whole thing. Don't just go get bits and pieces, which has been done for hundreds and thousands of years. You're just getting bits and pieces. People are just telling you bits and pieces. You're only getting bits and pieces of the Bible, because the whole Bible is not in the Bible. Let's just not in there.
That part.
And then some of the parts that are in there have been embellished upon or mistranslated.
That's right.
By people that don't even know the language. So they did their best guess. And one of my favorite parts is forsaking all others. And everybody thinks that for women, that means you can't have another man. That's not what that was about. Forsaking all others was forsaking another God. That's what that.
And that aligns. Uh-oh, we're freezing again.
Because he's a jealous God. So, and take it hook, line, and sinker just because we are either not educated enough to get to dig to get to the truth, too busy to dig to get to the truth, too tired to dig to get to the truth, or just not interested in getting to the truth, just want to go with what anybody else says.
Everybody else says, yeah. So that piggies off the last video, that we should be multiply and be fruitful. That's the last video with Kenyan that's I think it's a multi-million-dollar company right now, where people are paying this individual for her program, and these are more upper class. She's about $30,000 or more, and they're paying her to help their marriage, to open it up, spice it up. And so when you play it, a lot of people have seen it, and I think they were the root of why we are talking more about poly, and why you see it more amongst our beautiful brown skin, because it's it's taboo to talk about this type of topic, and you don't see it as much on YouTube. So when you look at it on YouTube, you've got really a small amount that's on YouTube of polyamorous relationships. It's more white from the UK, so you don't see that as much. And then speaking about, when I was talking about the living souls, the same thing. You don't have a lot of Black women and men talking about energies, because it's a taboo thing. But energy is real. I mean, in order for you to get here, it took two people to have sex and make some energy to create a human. And so, and so most people don't want to think that way, but it's true. Without this energy, we wouldn't have these desires to feel this way. And so, I just think it's important to understand that there are people and there are guides out here to help that. And so I left my information on there, but I think this last video is cute and explains how they met, and they just very real and open, and you can see the freeness in who they are. And so I'm an open relator, and so I've been free for 5 years. I'm also pansexual at the same time, and I cannot tell you I've had the best life. I feel I have no arguments. I don't have drama since I made this decision. I definitely can say that.
All right, let's see if I can get it to work.
And thank you for having me on.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know we love you.
Yeah, I'll be in the background like, woo, I just want to touch
women on their arms. My next guests are flipping the switch a bit. Now, Kenya K. Stevens is at the center of her relationship. You're looking at him there. Family portrait. Look at God. She's married to two men, Tiger and Carl, and they will be sharing part of their lives on TLC's new series, Seeking Brother Husband. They join me now in the studio, and of course the premiere will be this Sunday. So explain to me what's going on here. Obviously these two ain't getting together. It's just you and you, and that's it.
Yes, they call this a poly V. So I'm in the center, and I'm with my husband Carl. We've been together almost 30 years, and my husband Tiger and I have been together almost 10 years.
So when you say husband though, is that allowed? Is that allowed under the law, or are you talking about spiritual husband one, legal husband the other?
Yes.
How does that work?
This is my legal husband, and we added this husband by having a spiritual connection ceremony.
Okay. And so how did you guys come to this situation?
Well,
yeah, it's kind of complicated, but we had genuine feelings for other people, and Kenya and I talked about it, like, hey, I'm feeling some feelings of love for someone. She had the same thing. We talked about it. We said, well, why don't we actually explore this and see where it leads? And that's how we got into it.
Yeah.
And how did you open your mind, though, as a husband, as a man, to that?
Yeah, at first I was close to it. So when she brought to me that she wanted to date other men and that she should be able to do that.
But she didn't say, I want to leave you.
No,
she just said, I want to date other men.
Just wanted to date. And at first I was close to that. Because I had never really heard like a married woman dating multiple men. Like, where does that come from? I've heard of polygyny.
Yeah.
And Regine is a hater.
He had said that when we first got married. So I knew that that was one of his goals. And when it started to happen at year 12 of our marriage, I said, well, I would like to get in on that too, you know, because I think it's just fair is fair.
So year 12, what happened specifically so we can all follow you?
Yeah, he came home from work and just told me how he was having feelings for a woman at his job. And he was traveling a lot, and they were traveling together. And so he just was honest about his work wife.
And how do you bring that kind of honesty home?
We just talked about everything. I mean, when she had feelings for someone else, she brought it to me. We talked to our marriage counselors about it. Like we were surprised in monogamy that you actually had feelings for other people after marriage. We didn't know that you could fall in love or have attractions outside of marriage.
Right.
So it was a surprise to us. We were kind of innocent or naive, I guess.
And let's bring this guy into it. Go ahead.
Well, I met Tiger about 10 years ago. He was dressed as Tiger Woods on Halloween. And we had a nice dance, and I just fell immediately for him. And I had to just introduce him to the fact that I am married, and I introduced him to my husband, and just to see if, you know, he would be down to be a part of our union.
Yeah, needless to say, that was a shock for me because
I was going to ask you,
being with a woman and finding out she's married. At first, I'm like, no, she's tiptoeing, like she's sneaking around. And then I actually met Carl, and it was like, okay, this brother's. He's
but
on
did that
level.
set your mind right? Are you saying, okay, this is a setup? I'm gonna be robbed or something.
At first, when he walked through the door, yeah, I knew the fight was on. But he was very cordial. He introduced himself, shook my hand. I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
And so how did you wrap your mind around that? Because that's not what we expect in life.
It's not, and it took a while to wrap my mind around it. At one point, Kenya and I just kind of fell off, and then we got back together, and it was a little back and forth. And then I realized that, the traditional way that I'd been dating, what we call serial monogamy, where I would get with somebody and then find somebody else, I'd break up with this person, get with the next person. It just wasn't working. And so after seeing the connection that Carl and Kenya have, and discovering that, okay, with Carl's wisdom and ability to open up, there has to be something to this whole thing. And so I kind of entered into the fold and really grew as a person. And
right. And we have the tools and the technology. We run a Love Academy. We train couples all over the world in these technologies on how to do this lifestyle correctly and safely.
And so do you guys have a calendar, or you okay, Kenya?
We do have a Google Calendar. We have a Google Calendar.
A Google Calendar.
Yeah, because they both have other partners. He has another wife. They're in town off and on, and then I have other partners as well. So they have to have a calendar.
That's too much work.
I love her.
But you know what?
Yes.
It's like but you guys are honest, but it's like being a cheater out there.
Well,
but someone who is honest, and I know what's going on, here's what's going on, so we won't have that friction.
Yep, these men will never be surprised by
But my next question is, how do you explain it to family and friends who have closed minds? Tiger, let's begin with you.
So I kind of want
I love her.
Yeah, she's dope, and she helps a lot of people, and she's got different levels of ways that you can actually go through her program. And so Brother Satari took some of her license and made to relate to not relate. And so I like to just close it out with this saying. So as our separateness sets the tone for togetherness, and the more individuality is challenged, the more the togetherness will be challenged. The less someone feels they are losing themselves in a relationship, the more we will experience harmony. And ask yourself 100%, how am I in the relationship? And so I talked about that pentagon. So they go off this pentagon reflective summary, which is individuality, mirroring, communication, financial, and relational. And those 5 pentagons is what we bring people in to pay attention. How is that aligned? What is looking like? What should it be looking like? And why in the world is it not looking that way? So that's pretty much what we do.
Okay. Dope.
Yeah.
Well, we hope that you guys learned something tonight. I hope you guys had some fun with us as we navigated something it's just not traditional. And I think it's actually becoming finally, in a lot of ways, more of the norm in our culture. Yes. Because this is truly how our culture was, okay? Not what we adopted along the path of Christianity. This has not been forced down our throats. For real and go back, and I think that's real important. If you know where you came from, you'll know where you're going. A lot of us don't know that, so we're lost and we're kind of floundering out here under rules and regulations that really don't fit us. Exactly. So
come on now.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we're gonna have her back. We're going to have her back. We're going to have her back. We're going to have her back. She'll be back next Monday night. So we're going to have her 2 weeks in a row. In the year with us, we'll have Siren back in the house next Monday night. So make sure you stick and stay and you come and join us next Monday night right here on Juicy Tales Erotic Chat. Hopefully that I'll be back to 120%. Try
got
not to
You
cough.
will.
Try not to cough through this whole thing. And we start at 9:30 Eastern Standard, 8:30 Central Standard, 6:30 for our folks out on the West Coast, and our brothers and sisters in Barbados. I believe we are now on the same time at 9:30 Eastern. So make sure you tune in for another marvelous Monday on Juicy Tales Erotic Chat. For myself, Ms. JewCee, and my beautiful co-host, Miss Purple Rain, and our special guest tonight, Yogi Latin, that joined us all the way from Indianapolis, Indiana. My two indie connections right here. And for Miss Siren, who is traveling. Can't wait to get you back on here next week. Remember to enjoy, enlighten, and embrace eroticism. And we will see you back here for our final show of 2023 next week. All right, y'all. Everybody have a great one. Bye-bye.